You know, something about you, Paula, that's really admirable is I think you know yourself very well and you set appropriate boundaries and you hold them. Would that be accurate? That's my experience of you. For instance, I'm coming to that party, but I'm only coming for a minute because I just don't do that. But I'm going to show up and then I'm going home. And that's what you do.
Yeah.
That's a boundary that you have for yourself. It is.
I guess so.
You know, I can talk to you now, but only for 10 minutes. That's a boundary.
It's interesting because it's like, we manifest whatever we have had to fight for.
Yeah.
And I have had to fight for that.
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
But yeah, that is my experience of you. Is like, I will, this is my box and I'm going to function in this box. So as long as you're cool with my box, then we'll be cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean that in the most complimentary way.
I don't know. Is it?
That's how I mean it. No, listen, I just heard something yesterday that said, there's one common denominator in the people who have the most compassion on the planet. And most people think it's faith. It's boundaries of steel. Allows a person to have more compassion than other people. So if you have a good boundary, then you can give so much more to people.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
That makes sense.
So if I hope I didn't.
No. I didn't think you were. I was processing it and I was like, my old self going to, I shouldn't have any boundaries. I should just give and give and give.
No.
So that was just me processing old.
No. I don't like people with no boundaries.
Yeah.
I don't do well with people because my mom had no boundaries. Right. So I don't do well with that. Right. Your boundaries are awesome because I'd much rather hear you say, I can't come to the parties, too many people. Right. And then I go, fucking get it. I totally get it. Instead of not coming to the party at all.
Right.
Or coming and being miserable.
Right. You know what I mean? There's so many miserable people.
Never want you to do that.
Right.
I would do anything to have somebody not show up who's miserable.
Well, speaking of undying compassion.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's how you are.
Yeah. I have really good boundaries.
You do.
I do.
You do. Which allows me to have really good boundaries.
Exactly. Which makes for a healthy relationship.
Well, and look at us. And a great podcast studio.
100%.
That's adorable.
100%. 100%. I mean, wait till you see my house when we're done with it.
Oh my gosh, the house.
But yeah, when I just actually heard that
That's great.
yesterday, isn't that great? It made me feel so like, it gave me a lot of relief. Because I sometimes feel bad about having boundaries.
Right.
Because
so do I.
You ultimately end up having to tell people no.
Right.
Right? You don't have a choice but to say, I feel like
it comes across as snobbery sometimes. I feel like people think, she thinks she's better than this party, or I don't want it. And it's just not that at all.
I don't ever think of you as snob.
Okay.
But I also am a fact-based person who doesn't read into anything anybody says. I deal with what you tell me, which is I'm not coming.
Heaven.
And then I go, well, a lot of people go, does that mean she doesn't like me? Or why isn't she coming? Right. Well, let's fill in the blank of 18 things we've just assumed, and now we can react off that. Where does that get you?
But see, that was me my whole upbringing. And that's what I see in my little one.
Oh.
I know. And he's so loved. He's so beloved.
But the thing is, I think that's natural for all kids.
Okay, good.
And I'll tell you why. Every kid to a certain age is so self-important and self-absorbed, and that's healthy. That's what they should be. Not that I don't mean someone who has no compassion, whatever. But for the most part, that's why when parents divorce, a child believes it's their fault, no matter what happens.
You're right.
Because a child is wired, they are the world.
Yes.
So this happens with Isla quite a bit, where someone won't text her back, and she's created this entire drama in her brain. Where I go, well, let's go back to the facts. She's only been out of school for 2 hours. Maybe she had a play practice. Maybe she had to meet with a tutor. Maybe she went to coffee with a friend. Maybe don't assume anything. Ask for some facts. Hey, I text you, wonder if you got my text, because that's what's happening. You're wondering if she got your text, and then react to what response comes from that.
Right.
But don't sit here for 2 hours with yourself spinning this yarn that doesn't it is based on nothing.
Does she listen to that? Does she?
She does. She's starting to do a pretty good job at listening to that.
What a gift.
But she's starting to go, okay, let me try that.
Mm-hmm.
What she's starting to do is saying, let me try that. And then prove or disprove it.
Right.
You know.